Hello world, welcome to another episode of my weekly rant dedicated to inspiring the change of mindsets, especially our African mindsets. In the first week of May, I released a video in which I discussed the importance of preparing for the worst. I gave many examples, including that of the corona pandemic. Unfortunately, it is a sad moment now that it turns out many African countries did not prepare for the worst regarding the third or fourth wave of the virus, which is now devastating many African countries, including my own. During the first and second wave of the pandemic, most African countries were not affected, and unfortunately, due to our people's mindsets, rumors started going around that COVID does not affect Africans. When I heard of such stories, it saddened me because it is such belief systems that perpetuate our self-defeating mindsets. People's unbecoming mindsets made them trivialize a very serious issue such as the COVID pandemic. Now, the latest rumors are that the vaccines don't work, or that they kill people, or that they are designed to kill Africans. Guys, all this is not true. What is true is that the COVID pandemic is affecting the whole world, and many scientists in many countries sacrifice day and night to research and come up with the vaccines. Of course, nothing is perfect, so there are some vaccines that are not as good as others. But the point is that vaccines are the best tools we have now to manage this COVID situation. If some governments are mixing up the vaccines or using fake vaccines and people are dying as a result, it does not mean that there are no good vaccines out there. Back in early May, I had hoped that the worst that was happening in India did not reach Africa, but unfortunately it is too late. Every single day I'm getting messages on my WhatsApp groups or Facebook about at least 3 to 5 people every day that I know losing someone to COVID. The situation is so bad because the hospital networks that are overstretched, and since people refuse to take vaccines when they would have been most effective weeks, months ago, now countries like Uganda don't have the vaccines when they need them. The most important thing to understand is that vaccination is meant to help your body and your country better manage the disease. It does not mean that the disease will be cured. It means with less people going to hospitals, the health system is better positioned to save the lives of those who get infected. It also means if you ever get the virus, your body is better positioned to fight the disease. Of course, some people may die even after being vaccinated, or some people should not be vaccinated due to prior conditions. But the point is that way more people have their immunities increased when they are vaccinated, especially high-risk people such as the elderly. To confirm this truth, just look at the performance of the countries before and after vaccinating their people. For example, the UK, the country where I live, was the worst hit country in Europe during the first and second waves. However, now that over 65% of the population has been vaccinated, COVID infections have decreased from 60,000 cases per week to less than 8,000. The deaths have decreased from more than 1,000 per day to less than 10. This means the country's health system can now better manage those who get sick with COVID. The second example is the state of Israel. With more than 60% of its citizens vaccinated, the result is that the weekly infections have decreased from 8,000 to 15. And the deaths have decreased from 65 per day to 1. So don't rely on your neighbor's rumors about a few bad examples where vaccines may cause problems here and there, or where governments are mismanaging the process by mixing up the good and bad vaccines or stealing the good vaccines. Do your research about the countries that have vaccinated successfully, and maybe you will appreciate that there are good vaccines out there and you should be vaccinated. We now live in the age of data, so let us be data-driven in our thinking. Instead of following our emotions, beliefs, or rumors, let's go by the facts as we observe them from the successful countries. And of course, if you can get vaccinated, do so. If not, make sure you keep to the SOPs, wash your hands, wear the mask, and protect yourself by staying at home. Thank you for watching, and remember, changing our mindsets is the struggle.